Who is actually insulting Islam? As published in the Times of India by Rashidul Bari, voiced over by Michael Arias. The whole Muslim world, especially the Middle East, has been on fire for days. This fire was caused by a wave of anger that saw not only the USA and Israeli flags burning, but also the killing of many innocent people, including Christopher Stevens, the U.S. ambassador to Libya. Why do Muslims feel so much anger and hatred against America and Israel? Did the USA or Israel drop an atomic bomb in the holy city of Mecca? Did Pope Benedict XVI declare a crusade on Islam, like his predecessor Pope Urban II? The answer is no. So, why this fire? Surprisingly, this fire was caused by a film, more specifically a YouTube video, titled Innocence of Muslims. It was privately produced by Nakula, a 55-year-old notorious man who committed many crimes, including bank fraud, in 2010. Nakula seems to have made the most negative movie possible. The film sensationalizes matters that are concerned with making Prophet Muhammad look bad. It portrays him as a womanizer and a religious fake, despite the fact that Islam does not allow the depiction of its prophet. Does innocence of Muslims represent the truth? No. Should we be angry? Absolutely not. Why not? To answer this, we need to analyze a deeper question. Who is actually insulting Islam? Let's see. How in the world has a YouTube video created by a criminal made the whole Muslim world turn upside down? I asked Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus. He replied with his own question. When do the lives of 15 million people have a greater value than 1.3 billion? Upon hearing such a quantitative answer, I was clueless. Yunus added, well, if 1.6 billion people suddenly disappear, the world would not be affected that much. However, if 14 million people vanish, the world would suffer very much. It took me a few hours to understand Yunus's analogy. Yunus actually made a comparison between the total number of Muslims and Jews. The total number of Muslims is about 1.6 billion, and the total number of Jews is about 14 million. The total population of the earth, at present, is over 6.8 billion. Among those, 2.1 billion are Christian, 1.6 billion are the followers of Islam, and there are only 14 million Jewish believers. More precisely, I would say 21% of the world's total population is Muslim, whereas 0.2% is Jewish. In every kind of mathematical problem, a value of 21% is more than 0.2%, so the world would be in catastrophic crisis if 21% of its population suddenly disappeared, rather than 0.2%. After thinking about this, I wondered what point Yunus was trying to make. This reminded me of another Nobel laureate, Abdus Salam. In 1980, Salam published his book, Gauge Unification Fundamental Forces, a modest proposal to empower Muslims to re-enter the world of math, science, and technology before they became utterly marginalized. The grave humor of his extreme proposal was to remind Muslims about the consequences of neglecting education and focusing too much on religion, including hatred towards Christians and Jews. Yunus's quantitative analysis on Muslims' violent response to a YouTube video was so fantastic that at first, I thought the analysis was satire in the tradition of Salam. Let's look at this analogy in detail. Until now, a total of 830 people have won the Nobel Prize. Among them, the number of Jewish people is 185, and number of Muslims that are Nobel laureates is 10. According to my math, 1 out of 20 laureates should have been Muslims. If that were so, among 830 laureates, Muslims should have received at least 166 Nobel Prizes. However, the reality is not even close to those expectations. Muslims neither attained 166 nor 100. They won only 10 Nobel Prizes. On the other hand, as per the numbers I calculated that were representative of the population, the Jewish believers should not have attained more than 3 or 4 Nobel Prizes. Yet, they attained more than 185. Upon realizing this fact, I instantly understood Yunus's analogy and was filled with shame and guilt as a Muslim. The question is obvious. What are the Muslims doing? Look at the Middle East. Look at Pakistan or Bangladesh or any other Muslim country and you will find the answer. They are now busy chanting a slogan, Obama, Obama, we are all Osama. I don't think these are Muslim, these are Peter Pans of Islam, the little children who refuse to grow up, said Dr. Daniel Kabat, a theoretical physicist and cosmologist with whom I am collaborating on a physics book. Some of my Muslim brothers in the Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan wrote to newspapers defining the killing of Christopher Stevens as a great lesson for Christians and Jews. Quote, it was a great act of revenge against Christian Jews who supported innocence of Muslims, unquote. I disagree, not because I like the film, but because I do not care about what sort of message a criminal such as Nakula has spread via a nonsense film. Muslims who killed Stevens and others are completely wrong, because killing is not the way to achieve revenge. For a real retribution, produce Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, William Shakespeare, or Neil Armstrong. Instead of killing innocent people, send a man to the moon, build schools like Oxford and Harvard in every city, invest in research to find the AIDS vaccine, or win more and more Nobel Prizes each year. However, instead of investing time in research, many Muslims are busy taking revenge by killing more and more Christians and Jews. Wrong strategy. As a result, they are falling behind in math, science, the arts, and technology. Defeating Christians and Jews in these areas would be the greatest retribution. Let's not forget, no one can defeat anyone by killing or through a terrorist attack. Like Hitler, Muslims cannot win this battle no matter how many Christopher Stevens they kill or how many World Trade Centers they destroy. Hence, Muslims are the real loser in the killing of Christopher Stevens. Like September 11, 2001, the darkest day in the history of Islam is September 12, 2012. Who is the winner? Nakula, a criminal and producer of Innocence of Muslims, a film based on a lie. It was not the USA or Israel who made this criminal illustrious around the world. It was the Peter Pans of Islam who actually made him more famous than James Cameron. The Peter Pans of Islam need to grow up before it's too late. This article is titled, Who is Actually Insulting Islam?, as printed in the Times of India by Rashidul Bari, voiced over by Michael Arias.